Great. I think I'm going to make a start there now, and then I guess if any others join, they will hopefully catch on. So, welcome everyone to the first ever sort of client exclusive Nosto webinar for existing Nosto customers. It's really great to have you here. I can already see some names, familiar names that I recognize. So really nice to have you. And for those of you who don't know me, I am Rabia. I'm the customer success manager for the UK here. And so, hopefully after today, you will have at least a point of contact. And so feel free to pop in to our London office and come say hi to us if you're in the area. So today I thought it'd be nice to sort of host this webinar and just talk about kind of, what's coming up in the kind of the busy period. Really, I work with a lot of merchants now, so really kind of want to share some sort of tips and tricks kind of that I've seen that have been working really well. And just really kind of introduce you to those of you who've not used the recommendations feature, show you a little bit about how that works, and vice versa, if those of you who are using the recommendations but haven't used our Facebook or pop-ups, to really kind of show you how that works. So the agenda for today, essentially I'm going to just give you a quick kind of a brief intro just to kind of really talk about the trends that we've seen in Q4, and hopefully you are Nosto customers. So the topic of why personalization is, you should pretty much be on point on that. But let's look at it from the point of view of the customer that's coming to your site. And then I've kind of broken down today's webinar into two sessions. So the first session is going to sort of look at the recommendations, and then of course the second session will really kind of use sort of busy period coming up and sort of look at what you can do as your quick wins to kind of get things going for Black Friday and kind of the Christmas period ahead. And then I'll open the floor to some Q&As as well. Also, just so you all know, this session is being recorded. So after this, we will send you a recording of everything here. And we've got a lovely kind of team in marketing that have put together a guide and also just the examples that I'm going to use and additional sort of, links. Which you will get as a handout, as a follow-up after the webinar as well. So, fear not if you don't get everything, take everything in today at once. It will all be sent to you afterwards as well. So really, let's look at this. I mean, let me go back here. Basically, 2 seconds, sorry about that. Essentially, what we were seeing in terms of our trends, we've seen, last year, 24 billion kind of pounds spend on sort of Q4. It's a pretty significant number. Specifically for the UK, we saw 12.4 billion online spend on just the fashion only, kind of the fashion vertical. This is very significant, and compared to 2014, it's up by 12%. So, the predictions therefore are kind of we're looking at sort of a predicted revenue of 5 billion for the cyber weekend, believe it or not. Really, what we also have started seeing as well, 40% of consumers pretty much start their holiday shopping from Halloween onwards. I don't know if you do the same as me, but I'm quite well prepared. I get my Christmas shopping done kind of now-ish, out of the way. So, that's pretty much on par. 65% of shoppers pretty much plan on sort of shopping after Christmas as well. We all know how important kind of Boxing Day is for us. And then of course, in January, again, it's the kind of the slump, but of course, consumers still like to buy themselves gifts, or, they like to continue with the bargains and just keep going well after. And of course, let's not forget social media. It is quite mad, and it will continue to get mad, I suspect, in the next coming years. But yes, during the holiday season, social media traffic is going, it will increase by 240%. So from the consumer point of view, of course, why personalization? 86% of our consumers say that personalization plays a real key role in the purchasing decision. This is a very obvious stat. How many of you can think of examples that you go to a site and you just do not get the right kind of recommendation, or you don't get what you're actually looking for? And of course, 74% of online customers get frustrated with websites that do this, that they don't offer the right content, or the right products and it's not in their interest. We've all been there. And really, just to bring it back around in terms of Nosto, based on kind of our feature set and what we use and what we have on offer, we can actually see that there's 10 to 30% average increase in revenue and 7 times average return on investment should you be using the full kind of Nosto personalization solution. Specifically, looking at recommendations, if you can get the setup right, hopefully with my help, if you can get your kind of optimization correct, you can see an increase in up to 15%. Facebook ads, you can get there pretty quickly as well. And the same with behavioral pop-ups with an increase in 40% in conversion. So today we are going to focus specifically on the recommendations, the ads, and the pop-ups. And hopefully, employing even 1 or 2 of these features, if not all, you should be able to get on your way to achieve the 10 to 30% increase. So before we, get to the serious stuff, it's very important that everybody sees this. Let's really get ready for the holiday season with Nosto. And of course, I need to remind you all, yes, we are a personalization solution. So let's get personal. Let's not get creepy, you guys. It's very important. So, okay, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to actually jump between screens a little bit, just because, we're going to jump into the Nosto dashboard and really show you how to set up the recommendations, specifically the product page. Before I do this, to show you in context, so for those of you who haven't really looked at the Nosto recommendations and, to really show you how it would look on an actual site, I put together a couple of examples. So these are, examples of customers that are currently using Nosto and have, done it based on their business. And so I advise you, I can see quite a lot of you are coming from a range of verticals. So hopefully some of these examples, you'll be able to kind of adapt it to your kind of your business. So the first one here, UK Tool Center, so I couldn't fit it all in one screen, so wanted to just show you on the left is the actual top of the product page, which is the drill. And then if you were to scroll down, you will actually see a nice kind of product reel, first of all, looking at, okay, I'm looking at a drill, show me other drills or show me other, items within that category. And then the secondary reel is actually, okay, here is the accessories or the items that would go with that. And so they've got this really nice kind of setup, and it looks really, really nice on the site. And then on the third part that they've got as an additional thing is the recent history. So for me, that's really great because, if you're going through a store, you're searching for lots of things, you've got these alternatives, but don't forget, you may have seen something 20 minutes ago, and where is it? You have to break your journey and go back and find it. You have the nice kind of breadcrumb there. You can simply click on that product section and it's all very kind of nice and slick. Another example, and this is, you may or may not have seen this, but I absolutely love this brand. And, they're not as big in the UK, but I don't care. I absolutely think they're just brilliant. So Eaton, quite big in the Nordics, they have a great range of shirts. And actually, if you ever get a chance, or if you have already been to an Eaton shop, it's the service. It's so great. So you'll go into the shop and you're looking at a shirt, and within 5 to 10 minutes, a sales assistant will come up to you and talk to you about the shirt, and then say, oh, here is a couple of other shirts. And by the way, if you're going to try on the shirt, take a look at the tie and the item that goes with it, the accessory. So Eaton have actually replicated that experience onto their actual sites. On the product page, you see the actual shirt. And then if you scroll down, you'll see other alternatives. And then on the other side, you'll see some kind of, accessories. Very nice, very clean, set up really nicely. If you are, of course, another store, one of those stores that might have a very high product, like high average order value, such a very expensive product, you might say, okay, I actually don't want to kind of show other items of that same price range because, I want my customer to buy this chair. I don't want them to get distracted. So as an option, what you can do is set up your kind of primary reel to be showing accessories or, in this case, cushions and throws that would go with the chair. And then don't forget, we have a recently viewed just at the bottom in case that customer doesn't want that chair. They can then click on that product as well. And this is a really nice kind of way as well to display things. So all of this is possible with Nosto. So let's now jump to our to the actual dashboard, where I'm going to show you how you can set a couple of these up. So for the purposes of today's webinar, I'm actually just going to focus on the product page and the cart page. So if you haven't been in this section yet, simply remember to go on-site recommendations. And here you will see all your recommendations are kind of laid out very nicely for you on the front page, category, product page, etc. And what you can do is remember all these recommendations here that are set up, you can actually, they are set up as a kind of, this is what we suggest, but you can go in and you can change them around. You can, they're fully customizable. So let's go as an example that you want to, on your product page, set up the first recommendation. Just take the first one, why not? Remember to kind of call it whatever you wish. The title, it's possible to change the title. So I'll just say, in the case of Eaton's, let's call this one Others Viewed. But really what I want to kind of draw your attention to is the really cool stuff, the really kind of clever little trick that we can do. So we have this kind of great little section called the filter settings. And this is where you can actually now kind of break up your recommendations and decide what you want to show in your first and your second slots. So for the first slot, if you are wanting to kind of exclude or include products, let's say in the case of Eaton or UK Tool Centre, we wanted to essentially show items from the same category. We simply go to categories of viewed product, include subcategories, and enable, and save. So that's the first example. If we were then setting up a secondary rule and we wanted to maybe show alternatives, you would go other categories, keep the subcategories on, and save. Another thing that you could do, I mean, if you can start really playing around with it, and this is where the fun really does begin, is you can actually start going through some of this other, some of the other options. So you might, for instance, want to, look at just price range. So maybe you want to filter by price. So you might only want to set up one slot, and you might only want to say, okay, I'm going to, show items that are within my certain price range here, and that's all I want to do, but show all items from everywhere. That's pretty good. It works really well. I mean, in the case of within home, that is what we're currently testing, where we've actually been playing around with the price to see, how that works. The key, I will say as well, with the recommendations is absolutely to test, to really, you've got nothing to kind of, if you've got recommendations already set up, really now is the time to kind of make some tweaks every other day and see what that does to your figures. It's definitely worthwhile. And my advice will be, if you're starting out, really kind of get your sort of first slot ready, get your category set up, and then from then you can sort of build from there. And just to try and cover off another example, because I know there's a few merchants here that might actually see the value of possibly excluding products at a later date. So you might have a case where the January sales, they end, and you might have sort of your full price ranges. So you might have a case where you've only got a sales section on your site, and you might want to hide your sale products in the kind of full price items. You can quite easily do that if you so wish, simply by clicking the enabled section. Alternatively, if you only want to show sale items, you can also do that here within there. So all very straightforward and self-explanatory, I hope. So just to kind of then show you the kind of the secondary and the third recommendation slots. Of course, the recommendations are set up as they are, but as I was saying earlier, if you are playing around with your slots, get the first one right and then go through and have a look. We have options, things like personalized recommendations. We also have browsing history and browsing history related. So one thing to do is, if you think you've got your cross sells working really well, you might want to put in the personalized recommendation, or you might want to do what I was saying earlier, is the browsing history. It's very important to make sure that the product page is kept to be as strong as possible. And if you have a site that has a lot of options, a lot of products, I recommend getting this set up as a secondary one, just so that your customer does not forget what they've been looking at. And again, just don't forget, each and every recommendation you can filter depending on the products that you're showing, and you can also filter by price. Good. Okay, so let's now quickly jump back to the next part. So the next part would be the cart page recommendation. So if we're keeping in mind what we're optimizing on the product page, we basically want to do the same thing on the cart page, but maybe just be a little bit even more strategic. And by that I mean, this is the point where your customer is on, they're at the cart. They, you need to make sure that they convert, but you also want to try and get the average order value as high as you can. You want to really get them to convert. So it's just really, really important that what you place here is basically in line with what's already happening on your site throughout the journey. So a couple of examples that I really like, Sarah Raven, they have got a very nice, tidy sort of slot where they're showing the you might also like. So you get your item and then you have a look at your alternatives, which go with the 5-litre pot, it seems. And then, of course, Route One, they've got a really lovely kind of site as well, where they've got the kind of you might also like alternatives at the cart page as well. What I will say, I'm actually going to give an additional pro tip here, because it's not as heavily used, I guess, in the Nordics or in our other markets, but in the UK, I'm really seeing this being used a lot. And it's been so popular that we've actually written an article on it. And don't worry, I will send the article to you in our handout, but I feel like I should just give this some time. Essentially, this is kind of our mini cart situation. Basically, we have an example here, Jackson's Art. You go through, you add products, and then you go to, as soon as you kind of have added, you have a nice little pop-up where you've got your kind of recommended reel within there. Route One have done the same. I believe Sarah Raven have also done that. It's basically catching on, and it just works really, really well in terms of conversions and also getting your customer to the end, let's say. So really, we've got an article, and I'll send that over to you. And if you are feeling advanced, and if you are one of those customers who are quite kind of well versed in Nosto now, I recommend you get this going, because it's really, really ideal. It's a really nice kind of way for your customer to look at your products. So let's now come back to our dashboard so I can show you the recommendations for the cart page. So in the cart page, I've actually created a few recommendations ahead of the game so that I can talk them through. So again, click into the recommendation as discussed. When you're going through, obviously make sure, title it wherever you feel is correct for you. Keep it shopping cart, cart-based recommendations, all good. And again, in your filter settings, make the decision, do you want to show, what do you want to show when you get your customer to the cart? Do they want to see categories of the cart items, or do they want to see other, items from other categories? So be really kind of strategic in what you're doing at the cart page. I've seen both work quite well. So, but if you're kind of just starting out, start off with categories of cart items. The other thing that I've seen work really, really well, and I recommend that you test it, is again price. You can sort of show items in a certain price range. So this could be, again, back to our sort of alternatives items. You might want to just show only accessories at this point and nothing else. So you can set that up quite easily in the kind of in the cart recommendation. The other sort of tip, I think, and it's a trick that's being is being missed. So I really think I should say this to you all, is the free shipping. Please pay attention to your free shipping. If you are a store that is offering free delivery over a certain amount, you can set up a Nosto recommendation to help those customers get over the free shipping threshold that you've set. And it's a really great recommendation, because not only will it just entice those customers to add a couple of things and just get over the threshold, but it's just a great way it's just another part of your kind of experience. It's really going to help your customer to get over the line, really. And it's really, in my mind, it's a no-brainer to have this enabled. So as an example, you can even say in your title, free shipping over £25. And even if you're specifically maybe looking at UK only, you can even have this as well in the title, so it's clear for those who are seeing the recommendation that if they get free shipping, we can do it this way. Make sure you enable free shipping here. And then in this section, set up, what your sort of threshold is. And this will basically then show items to get the person who is basically eligible and is within that sort of amount to get over the line. So a great thing to do. And if you haven't already done this, please do so. It's very important. And then my final sort of tip on the sort of cart page section. And again, it's I haven't really included it in the the webinar here, but it's just as an afterthought. Enable your browsing history recommendation, because if you think of it, your customer is right at the end of the journey. They want to, they're pretty much ready to pay. They've got their products. However, you never know. There might have been something that they were looking at, half an hour ago or 20 minutes ago, and instead of them kind of, going, oh, I need to go back and find that product, have it available for them. Let them add it into the cart, and that way their journey isn't broken. They're pretty much, they're hopefully going to convert anyway, but just in case, you've added that extra product, and it's just well worth having. So I think please try and test it and enable your browsing history if you can. Great. So now I think, let me just jump over and double check. So just a kind of final, I guess, takeaway on that part of the sections is really just, showcase your similar products, make sure that once you've got that going, your complementary products are going hand in hand. And then also the browsing history. It's just important to get these particular recommendations optimized as best you can. And so, if nothing else, focus on these things, and you're really well on your way to having a really successful kind of time during the busy period. So before I move to the second session of the pop-ups and Facebook, I'm just going to open up the kind of floor and just take any questions that might be coming up. So let me just quickly check if there has been any questions. And of course, please remember, I will send you everything and our useful kind of links in our support academy that we have available. So yeah, please don't worry if something is not as clear. I will send everything after. So if there's no questions that I can see coming up, okay, so I will move on now to the next part. Okay, great. So the second session, really, I kind of want to sort of talk about the really stressful time that is coming up for for the customers. I mean, it's arguably, yes, we're all very stressed currently getting the sites ready, but if you put yourself in the position of the customer, it's also very stressful shopping during this time. So what you want to do is try to make that experience on your site as slick and as smooth as possible. And so if you are someone who hasn't got the recommendations up and running, or and is really only focusing currently on our pop-ups and Facebook feature, or vice versa, if you want to know more about it, this is the time when you can get your quick wins with these two particular features. What I'm going to do is specifically, I'm going to focus on the exit intent pop-up and the kind of filtering that we can do for that. And in terms of Facebook, we can be here all day for Facebook, but let's focus on just one campaign. So I'll just run you through how that can be done as well. So what we'll do is I will actually jump back into our demo now. And let's go into the section for pop-ups in our dashboard. So again, it's in your dashboard, it's set up quite sort of laid out quite nicely. So let's focus on the pop-ups section. So here, of course, we have a range of pop-ups that are available that you can actually look at. So laid out quite nicely for you to see. So you've got customers, kind of new customers, and what you can do for sales. Have a little read of the various trigger points, but less for this webinar. Let's focus on the very obvious one and the quick win that you can do if you haven't already done this. We're all aware of our abandoned cart, and we're all aware of the various things that we can do, but let's reiterate this right now. Set up your abandoned cart. It's very important that you create a pop-up to capture your customers that are leaving your site. In terms of when it comes to Christmas, of course, enabling something like this is going to be a really good idea, because essentially they're quite stressed. They're looking on your site, then they're going to go in 20 other stores. They might come back, they might not. So why not enable a pop-up when they're about to leave, offer them that discount, entice them to stay on the store, and get the sale from them. And how you do this, simply go on create a pop-up. And as you can see, it's already laid out almost like filling out a survey. So go through, have a look at the pop-up behavior, pick which one you're going to choose. So in this case, let's give off the discount. You can create your kind of coupon code, and if you're not sure how to do that, click on the link here and you'll get some more guidance. Same with the personalized coupon and coupon pools. Click next. And this is where you've got your kind of the basic version, the layout set out for you here. So this is where you can add, your kind of title, whatever you want to sort of say, Cyber Weekend discount, or, specifically for it. You can sort of customize it a little bit here, but don't forget, we do actually have a full-on detailed kind of custom version in a second. So, but this is just kind of building out the skeleton, really. Go to next, click on, however you want to set it. So you might even just want to set up a specific pop-up over the kind of Black Friday, Cyber Weekend time, or you might want to use this for the next week or so to test it. I recommend, why not, show it from now on and set it up. So this is kind of just to show you what the final touches would be, but let's click on Advanced Settings. And this here is where you get to see the pop-up laid out for you before you do anything in terms of setting it live. So make sure you've got your coupon code ready. If you are, someone that wants to add your logo / any other sort of custom style that you want to do, put it in here. If you're feeling more advanced, feel free to go into the HTML, CSS part. You can also, design things this way. This is all laid out quite nicely for you. And again, just a reminder of what the date range is. And then this is the really, really, really useful point of this whole thing for pop-ups. Essentially, you might be a merchant, and I talked to quite a few merchants where they say, "Oh, I'm still, I just don't like giving, showing pop-ups to my customers. It's just so obtrusive. I find it annoying. Therefore, my customer is going to find it annoying." Or you might just be someone who loves pop-ups but has been just overkill on your site. So really, use the advanced rules. Decide where you want to show the pop-up, and just really control how your customer sees the pop-up and when they see it. Simply go into the advanced rules section, and as an example, let's say we are now setting up the on exit, the abandoned cart pop-up. So this currently is set up as wherever I am on the store, if I leave, I'm going to see a pop-up. Maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you want to say, okay, if my customer, when they're on cart page, that's when and they're about to leave, that's when I want them to see this particular pop-up. You can even go a bit more advanced and set it up, so you can even segment it and put it into customers in terms of the cart value that they've got, maybe the number of products in the cart. You can start doing some really cool things with this section here. And again, of course, with the appearance settings as well. So you can basically apply and change settings and how to show the pop-up to visitors. And if you feel confident, you can look at page views, you can also look at categories, and really just go in and set up your pop-up so that it's right for you, but also right for your customer. The one sort of a trick as well, or tip that I'll say is good for Cyber Weekend. Let's say you have, if you're in a scenario where you're giving off 20% off everything on your store, you might want to add a filter for the average order value by giving away an additional 5%. So what you can do is set up the pop-up and actually create this pop-up and say, I don't know, like additional 5% on on orders over, let's say, 350 in this example. So you can really show the pop-up to customers who you want to get over the line and increase your average order value. And if your margins allow it, give them that additional 5%, because if it means it's going to get them to buy extra, why not set that pop-up? And again, test it. You don't have to, have it running for all of Christmas. Just test it just for Cyber Weekend, maybe. And just, if that works, then maybe you can try it again in a different format. Conversely, if you are, in that sort of school of thought where you do not want to give any discounts, you're kind of really cannot do any of that, then my advice is you can still use our pop-ups, and I would say set up this one here, the follow-up abandoned cart. You might as well set this up, and you might as well collect everyone's emails for your future database. You're still in this busy period. You want to capture as many people as you can, and if you're not willing to give them a discount, then get them this way, collect their emails. Great. I hope that is clear for everyone. And I guess this is just one example that I've given you. My main takeaway from here is really get your abandoned cart set up. This is the quick win. This is the easiest thing to do in this busy period. And I know how busy everyone is. So in terms of pop-ups, this is the one that you want to go with. And then if you're feeling even more confident, please feel free to take a look at the rest of our pop-ups. And we do have nice little links and guidelines that you can click on to understand more on this as well. Great. Okay, so let's now move into the Facebook ads section. So again, firstly, if you are a customer that is only getting started on Facebook, this is the perfect opportunity to get started. And one of the things, again, just like the pop-ups, I would advise you to go straight here and look at your kind of current customers and what you can do to target them. Right here is the key one. Retarget people who have abandoned the shopping cart. So the idea being, if you can't get them on the pop-up abandoned cart, get them on Facebook. That's kind of the main aim of the game. And if you can get this up and running and working really, really well, then you can focus on basically retargeting your customers, so the ones that have visited the store. A tip on this, a couple of things actually. If you are going to be setting up your Facebook ads, remember that during the busy period, you will have to set your budget a little bit higher than what you usually would, obviously, because you're competing for space and it's going to be very, very competitive. So just make sure that you do that. And then the other thing is just ensure that in terms of the retargeting, don't forget about your customers after Christmas. People will still be buying, so set up a campaign that's going to run from, let's say the 4th or 5th of January straight through to the end, so that those customers who were on your store that were looking during Christmas, during Cyber Weekend, but didn't buy anything and were meant to maybe come back and then forgot, you can then retarget them, get them to come back in the January period and to come and buy from you still. So I would recommend setting that up as well. And just to quickly, for those of you who have not, seen the kind of Facebook ads and how it really works, just to cover off, just how it would work. Essentially, in our Facebook ads feature, it's really, really great. We're finishing a direct integration with them. It's essentially we're taking the data, the information of the customer that's on site, and we're also taking the data that's in Facebook, we're combining it, and we're serving personalized ads that way. The other thing is that, if you are familiar with Facebook Ads Manager, there's quite a lot going on in there. And this is designed to really sort of bring everything into one place in the dashboard. It's going to allow you to kind of look at the ads feature here and only here. And it just hopefully is set up in such a way that even if you are a beginner, it's pretty straightforward, and it's hopefully easy to use in the busy time anyway. So just to show you quickly then, I've got an Envision here. Simply go to Facebook. So you click on the Get Started section and it will take you into Facebook, and this is where you kind of do all your connections. You'll then come back and then this here will be open to you. So you'll see various campaigns available. Go straight to the abandoned cart section, please. I'd recommend, and get that set up. As you can see, it's laid out, so just work through. It should take no more than 5 or so minutes. Don't spend too long. Get your text correct. Have the kind of visual settings as best you can with Facebook. You have sort of freedom to sort out your audience in here as well, so you can really play around with the demographics. You can depending on your store and what your age range is, you can sort of play around with this toggle, and then you'll see the potential reach increase or decrease depending on what you do here. Obviously set up your budgets, and again, if you're not sure, we have a couple of links here that can give you some guidance on it, but if you are sure, just remember to have increase the budget a bit more than what you would be doing. Then obviously the duration, so set up your ads. You don't have to do them straight away. You can set them up just to test them, or you can have them specifically ready to go from Cyber Weekend. And when you're happy and good to go, by the way, if you've got your pop-ups running, you should absolutely use the pop-ups in conjunction with with our ads. But if you're not quite there yet, you don't have to do this. It's optional. And then basically you've got the overview, lets you see what you're doing. When you're happy, click on the Create Ad Campaign, and then you are good to go. And basically that is what will happen when you get started on the Facebook ads feature as well. So highly recommend that you go in and take a look at this as well. Good. Okay, so let's jump back to the webinar, and I'll go back to my slides. So just to reiterate then, key takeaways for the pop-ups, giveaway discounts on the right basket value orders to get your AOV up. And as well, I should probably put that in there, but really get started on your abandoned cart. That's a no-brainer in my mind. So get that going, whatever you do. And then in terms of Facebook advertising, you just need to make sure that you are strategic and you're engaging with your customers at the right time. So just be logical about when you set up your campaigns. Think about what's going to happen post Christmas, and set up your campaigns based on that. And if you do that, I think you will be well on your way for having a very successful kind of Q4. So just to finally reiterate again, get this up and running. If you are one of those merchants that's got recommendations, ads, pop-ups, really just go through and just do the tweaks that I've mentioned. And we will be able to help you with some of these, with the kind of the stats here that we're presenting, and you will fall into this bracket if you don't already. In terms of those of you who are either maybe doing one feature and not the others, if possible, absolutely get it started, get it going. And if you are someone who is kind of just had been on the brink for recommendations, just set up one. Do it on the product page or do it on the cart page. Don't give yourself extra work, but set up one at least, and then see what happens. At that point, you've got nothing to lose. You might as well get it in there. So make it easy for yourself. And I always say, just to all my customers, Nosto has a lot to offer, and it can be quite daunting all at once. Always start with one thing and then build from there. So whatever your kind of preference feature is, pick it, and then once that's right, then move on to the next one. So yeah, in conclusion, it's it is around the corner. Quite aware, it's we're getting into the middle of October now, so it's quite stressful. So really get started and really get those quick wins in there right now. You can easily get some of those kind of tips and tricks employed today. We will actually send you a checklist that we've created I will send you this recording for what it's worth. Hopefully, haven't spoken too much. So, with that combined, hopefully that should get you on your way. And from my side, I really do wish you all a successful end of the year. And if you have any kind of questions or any feedback or anything at all that I can help you with, there is my email, rabia@nosto.com. And just for those of you, and I can see a couple of names that are in our kind of webinar. So for those of you who are in London tomorrow, we are hosting a dodgeball event. And for those of you who know me, where would I be if I didn't plug the Nosto event as well, the fun thing, as well as this. So if you can come, drop me an email. I'll send you a link, and you can come and take part and play dodgeball with us and meet some of the other the UK team as well. And so with that, if there's any questions, I'm just going to open the floor to people, and let's see if I can get those questions out. Okay, so first question then, can you run the same retargeting campaigns on Instagram? So we have Instagram available on our beta. So it's not publicly available yet. However, if you are interested in the Instagram feature, drop me an email, and then I can give you more information on it and what the requirements and things would be. So just drop me an email, and then I can give you more information. But certainly, I don't believe that Instagram will be available for Q4 publicly. So if you want to know more, drop me an email. Yes, so the question here is, can you filter by IP address to tailor pop-up messaging by country, i.e. free shipping for US with orders over £300? Yes, so we have geo-targeting available, so that's quite easily can be set up. So again, that was in the section where I was showing you the sort of advanced rule sets, and we actually have a kind of nice article explaining what you can do, and in fact I have a specific pop-up guide / examples that you can use. So I will also ensure that marketing sends you those examples as well, so that you can adapt it for this specific case. If there are any other questions or anything else. Okay, so I think at the moment it's all silent here. I clearly have maybe said way too much now, and a lot for you all to think about. So on that note, then I'll call it a day. Please remember, you can email me if you think of anything afterwards. Just take that down, take my details down, please. The other thing as well is, please don't forget, we have a great support team over support@nosto.com. They are my colleagues, and they sit alongside me, and they help me greatly. So if you don't get a response from me, please use them. We have a great intercom chat in your dashboard. It's the pink bubble. Please use that. You can speak to somebody pretty much then and there. So drop them a message as well. And hope just get the support and get the help that you need. And one way or another, we will get back to you and we can assist, hopefully. So on that note, good luck, everyone, and hopefully I'll see you on the other side. Thank you.